Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Bleav.
For fans wanting more than just the score, Warhawk Report dives deeper into ULM athletics with expert analysis, recruiting updates, behind-the-scenes access, and real-time updates. Whether you are a diehard fan or just curious about the Warhawks, we've got you covered. Subscribe today at warhawkreport.com. Smart coverage, real insights, all Warhawks. warhawkreport.com.
Doesn't matter if you're an Indian or if you're a Warhawk.
The ULM mention is the greatest. You'd hope for the best as a ULM fan, but
this is the Bleav in the Warhawks podcast with hosts Dusty Thibodeaux and Chase Regian.
Chase, you always have such great insight.
Tibbs is going to bleep it all.
What are these guys always talking about?
We talk a lot about food on this podcast, and I'm going to continue to do so.
Really, really appreciative of the people and the community and the way that they've backed us up.
Nailed the introduction, by the way. Awesome.
Thanks,
I love
Fish.
it.
Chase, it's finally here. We are ready to kick off the 2025 season. It's Thursday night. It's going to be cool. It's going to be wet and rainy. It's going to be fantastic football weather. What say you?
Dude, come on. Let's go, Tibbs. I mean, we have struggled through the summer on this podcast and talked about the worst stuff, and now we finally get to just watch some Warhawks. Again, it's starting to feel sad to say beat the crap out of the Red Flash, but I mean, hey, week one, you got to bring some energy.
I hope we do, but at the same time, don't get anybody hurt, right? Because yes, it's a national tragedy, or however Nick Saban said it whenever ULM beat Alabama. But at the same time, we got to be healthy for the games post-bye than anything else.
Yeah, I think, I had hopped on Mike Hammett's Warhawk Authority podcast. Very good. Just give it a listen. I know you listen to it, but people should give it a listen. And we talked about how the second week, I don't know how much we're going to learn from the first week or the second week, really. I think we'll figure out who this team is by week 3, because I think UTEP is great, or game 3, because UTEP is great, likewise competition. But we're going to beat the shit out of the Red Flash. Hopefully starters taking their pads off by halftime. And then that might go the other way. So I think we get 2 extremes, but at least we're not getting 2, Bama than Georgia or Bama than Texas, or et cetera, et cetera.
I just hope, honestly, as much as I like that bye in week 3, I'm hoping that any momentum we have from kind of the yin and yang of these first 2 weeks, that we don't lose that going into UTEP.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can. I think you beat the shit out of Red Flash. You know what Bama is, so you kind of know what's coming there, and then hopefully you say, well, we can score points. Let's go do this, or get turnovers, or whatever that narrative turns out to be for ULM this year. And, you really, if you beat UTEP, you're starting again your season off really, really great with some great momentum.
But let's start peeling back the onion of the Red Flash. Kind of frustrating because there's just not a whole lot of coverage, not a whole lot of information.
There's one guy, Tibbs.
Yeah, I mean,
literally, and he covers all the schools. He doesn't even cover just the Red Flash.
We talked to the guy for the NEC Blitz on it. Definitely a great source where we got a lot of this information, as well as me digging and going into the internet archives trying to find this. Red Flash 4-7 last year, 3-5 on the road. They actually closed out the season winning 2 of their last 3 games. The year last year highlighted by their FBS upset, the second ever in NEC conference, when they beat Kent State 23-17, and it was their first ever win over an FBS program. It's scary. I mean, yes, I know Kent State is not a very good program. I know that they are MAC. I love some action and everything else. But, Chase, it could happen.
No, Tibbs, stop this. You've been on this. No, dude, they lost what? 90 players? No, they can't even have 90 players. They lost 60 or 70 players by the time they made that announcement and the portal hit and everything. So you got a completely new team full of JV middle schoolers, and that doesn't make sense. JV middle schoolers playing in Pennsylvania with No. I can't buy into the narrative. Tibbs, I know it's a good one. I can't do it. We're gonna beat the crap out of them. And what an idiot I would sound like. I'll tell you that. How bad would that be?
I'll definitely save the audio there. Look, I mean, I get it. Look, this is a small school, 2,000 enrollment. Their home stadium, Delgol Field, it has a capacity of 3,500, Chase. So hopefully all of their students show up, and then their 1,500 alumni are able to make it to sell the game out.
To drive. How long of a drive is it? Have you looked?
From
to
Monroe
Loretto,
over?
Pennsylvania?
You're probably looking at a day, 20, 22 hours.
Is just roughly about 20 hours. Damn, that was pretty good, dude. On the dot, 19 hours and 50 minutes. That's pretty good. Yeah, no, nobody from them. I would be surprised they have 5 fans in the game. I think I might do that as a segment, Tibbs, on radio. Like, look up in the stands and count how many people they have there.
By the way, it's a 403-hour walk from Malone Stadium to their stadium. But the home opener, right? I mean, we know that BV's undefeated in his home openers, having beat Jackson State last year. The Red Flash picked 7th by NEC Blitz, 6th in the preseason coaches poll. They do have 2 preseason all-conference players there. Mason Imbit, the offensive lineman. You got to love it. He's got some big boy touchdowns there, Chase, over his career, because he plays some tackle, he plays some tight end. 4 career touchdowns.
Dude, in a preseason all conference pick, I gotta find out what number he is, because we gotta watch that guy. I love that though. You know what I mean? Like, they just have a random offensive lineman that's just a stud and scoring touchdowns. That's a dream.
Did you ever score a touchdown?
No, not once in my career. I was running back when I was young, but never college. I do. Fun fact, I do have 2 forced fumbles in college, and 2 tackles, 2 forced fumbles. And one of the picks was kind of my fault. Kind of missed a block. He threw a bad pass, but it doesn't matter. I forced the fumble, and we recovered it. The second one we did not recover. They recovered it and scored a touchdown. But 2 forced fumbles, pretty good. But it's not 4 touchdowns.
See, I hear offensive lineman force fumble that, Jairus Edwards, someone like that, just piss you off. They're running past you, and you just reach out and grab the ball.
I tell you what, though, Tibbs, I Bleav it would not have been great for my public image, health, or future if I had scored a touchdown, because there's a good chance I would have gotten naked. There's a really good chance I would have brought dishonor to my family, because I had some grand plans if I scored that touchdown. And they would try to take the ball from me. No, I'm running that straight in the stands. I'll take the penalty. I'll take the fine. I don't know what they would do. I don't know. I'll take the suspension. I don't care. We are taking that football home.
That's like Chaz Williams, the old defensive back in the mid 2000s. He was great. He had several pick sixes, and every time he got it, he would only get them when they were going towards the Grove. He would take the ball and just chunk it as far as he possibly could into the Grove.
Dude, it's baller. What a baller move.
It was great. We called it the Chaz Spaz, but it was well warranted when you're getting pick sixes like that. But anyway, back to St. Francis there, Chase. Their other preseason all-conference selection, a linebacker, Gino Calgaro. He's a sophomore. Didn't really post that great of stats, but guess what? He still had a lot of ball hawking skills. I want to say he was like in the 30 range for tackles. And more importantly than their all-conference, they have a all-name nominee on the offensive line, Guzzy Kayed.
Yeah, Guzzy. What an I wonder what his real name. That can't be his real name, right?
It says real name.
It's got to be. What if it was like, what's Gus short of August, right? Maybe it's August.
What's Guzzy short for then?
Because you go to Gus, and then maybe Gus went to Guzzy.
not.
I don't know. As a fat guy, I don't know if that's a great. It's a cool name, but it could be offensive. We really got to check.
Limited secondary experience coming back for Red Flash. Chase, I do agree with you. Look, I think this is ULM's good kickoff to the season. I think we score. I do think the weather kind of plays a little bit of damper on what we could have seen of a all-out aerial attack by the Warhawks. Still think they win it pretty comfortably. I haven't seen any kind of even unofficial spread, knowing it's a FBS, FCS game. If I had to guess, though, we're probably talking 28-ish points, and I think that's pretty fair that they win by 4 touchdowns, if not more.
Yeah, I like that. You say 28-0, or you say 28-point spread?
Just 28 points, because I do think that they're going to play around a little bit with the offense that may not work necessarily well. The defense is probably going to see some younger guys in there that maybe aren't quite ready for D1 football. So what a good way to get them kind of broken in at home and against an opponent that should be pretty easily handled.
Yeah, I don't see a line set for it now, but I think that's a fair guess. I think you'll see a lot of inside zone. I think you'll see a lot of really basic run game, or maybe even that's when they try to, run number 3, 4, 5 a lot. I think, and just straight run the ball the whole time. I could see Vincent doing that. Like I could see him not being the coach to try to force the throw game and then get in trouble. I see him playing it smart early and just run the ball. And then when you put backup in, you really don't, you might take a few shots, but nothing crazy. And I think you'll see Aiden throw 12 to 15 passes. I think you'll see a backup quarterback throw 7, and hopefully, if it's 28-0, 35-7, something like that going in third quarter, you kind of see what other options you have. It might be a little early. Some people would like a little more, but I think I had in my head 32-3. I don't know why. That was what I had guessed. And that's an ass whooping, by the way. I don't think, think some people we want in college football want to see 70 put on somebody, and that could happen depending on weather. But I think for the most part, I think you'll see something like you're talking about, like a slow. I think you're going to see a real slow game too. I don't think this is going to be I don't think it's going to be too exciting of a Thursday night watch. Besides the fact that it's opening week.
One of several games around the Sun Belt Conference, though, that are FBS, FCS. We as a conference have not seen a FCS sneak up on you on a Sun Belt Conference school since 2021, where Incarnate Word beat Texas State 42-34. But the quarterback for that Incarnate Word team, it was a guy named Cam Ward.
Yeah. It turned out
he was okay.
Yeah, he was okay. He was a first overall pick playing against FCS kids. He was just fine.
Yeah. That was also the Eric Morris days. A lot of those Incarnate Word kids did wind up making the move to Texas State once G.J. Kinney had them for another year or two at Incarnate Word and made the jump to the Bobcats. Any other games around the league kind of stick out to you this upcoming weekend?
Some of them are brutal matchups. I think, they're either brutal or they're bad. Maybe Rice. Rice in Lafayette there, right? And you know what? Maybe Mississippi State, Southern Miss. I think, again, Southern Miss, we know this as media people that it's going to be Southern Miss is going to be a very, very good football team with a lot of power behind them. So maybe those two. What about you? I mean, I think, like I said, some of those are assholes waiting to happen either way.
Yeah, I think one of those is Marshall at Georgia. I think Georgia is wanting to get back to be able to lift the really big trophy. So that one's going to get ugly and out of hand. I like that Mississippi State Southern Miss game. And I think that could be an SEC win for the Sun Belt Conference because Mississippi State not as good. As we said, Southern Miss pretty damn good. So that makes for a really good game. Early game on Saturday, though. The 11 o'clock kickoff there. I Bleav it's on ESPN.
Makes for
the
a
other
long
one that
day.
I kind of have circled, the 6 o'clock game, Nichols at Troy. Nichols this past weekend put a straight whooping on Incarnate Word, an Incarnate Word team that was, I think, in the top 10 for FCS.
Really? You think Nichols every now and then, man, they just pop off.
Yeah.
They just got some guys.
And I'm just not sold on Troy right now.
Yeah, Troy sucks. I agree.
I mean, look, even last year, the Troy team at the beginning of the year was not the same one at the end of the year. They kind of started turning the tide after we beat them in that close game. So I do think that they're at least as good as they were at the end of last year, but something tells me that could be the game right there where the Nichols Colonels come in and get that win.
Yeah, hey, love to see Louisiana school beat Troy. Troy sucks.
Eastern Michigan, Texas State. I think that's always a good one when you can beat one of your peer conferences there in the MAC. And then, as you said, Rice, Louisiana Lafayette. Rice, the team that snapped the Cajuns' big winning streak that they had when they came to Houston a couple years back. That's huge when you can beat the American.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But, how much competition really is Rice year in and year out? I guess we'll see. And we know Lafayette's going to be a good ball club.
Without a doubt. Elsewhere around the Bayou, Chase, it's already happening. There's people on the pitch playing soccer, 2-1 early on with a home shutout win over Southeastern. Did not allow a shot on goal in that game.
Damn.
And then the Central Arkansas, they had a 1-0 lead at the half and just could not finish goals. They had something like 20 shots in the game. I think 9 on goal, and just could never find the back of the net.
Yeah, I saw that it got ugly for him there in the second half. But hey, maybe things like that early on in soccer season, you kind of hopefully shore those things up. And as long as you're shooting the ball well and scoring at least a little bit, this season already, I think hopefully they'll be okay. I know Coach Roberts got them working, and they've actually been really competitive for the last few years. People just don't know about them yet.
Yeah, I mean, I think the last 2 years they've lost in the quarters of the conference tournament in shootouts.
Yeah,
I mean, that's where you're playing really well in regular time and just can't quite hit that one last penalty kick to advance.
Very cool.
Able to go on the road and get that win at Nichols, 3-2. Nichols terrible at soccer there, Chase, but when that was a good old turn and burn trip. That's always good when you can drive that far and still be able to come home with a victory. I mean, they were picked 11th in the Southland Conference. Always good. They do have a upcoming game Sunday night as we record against UAB. They'll be at home on Wednesday against Little Rock before coming to my neck of the woods of Houston on Sunday the 31st, just in time for Labor Day.
Very cool.
Volleyball, getting ready to get started as well. Chase, do you watch these other sports that are non-football on the ESPN Plus stream?
Dick question. No, no. Every now and then, dude. Honestly, my wife and I really like to keep up with ULM soccer, but we won't watch the games, no, because they look like they're shot through a an iPhone 5, some of them, and it's not just that. It's just it's just life. And then now as we get to football season, I won't even think twice about them until you bring them up every week.
Why you always treat them like baseball?
Yeah, no. I really love soccer. I really love volleyball. I love watching them in person, and watching them on TV is tough. None of that's true about baseball. I don't like watching it in person, and I don't like watching it on TV, definitely.
We are going to convert you if it's the last thing we do.
I'm down for the attempt.
That's really all we have. I mean, I know it's a short, sweet episode there, Chase, but not a whole lot to say about this game, the opener there against St. Francis. I'll be there. We will record post-game to recap the game and look forward to week 2 against Alabama. And, of course, Warhawk Report will have post-game quotes, highlights, and everything in between.
Well, travel safe, my friend. I'm excited to talk to you when it's done.